My beloved child, come closer in spirit and listen gently, because this message is about you, and it is spoken with great love. You have wondered for a long time why your life feels quiet, why your phone stays silent, why your heart feels like it carries a weight that others do not see. You have asked yourself late at night, what is wrong with me, and sometimes you even blamed yourself, thinking you are difficult to love or easy to forget. But listen carefully now, because the reason you are alone is not what you think. It is not because you are unworthy. It is not because you are broken. It is not because you failed at love. It is because of who you are, and because of what I have placed inside you. My beloved child, you are alone because your soul is different. You carry depth in a world that swims on the surface. You feel things fully in a world that numbs itself. You see truth where others prefer illusion. And this difference has always separated you, even when you try to blend in. You have noticed it since childhood. You felt older than your age. You questioned things others accepted easily. You felt emotions deeply and wondered why others could walk away so casually. That was not a flaw. That was the beginning of your calling. You are alone because you do not love halfway. When you care with your whole heart. When you attach with loyalty and honesty. And many people are not ready for that kind of sincerity. They enjoy attention, not connection. They enjoy presence, not commitment. They enjoy what you give, but they fear what you expect in return, even if all you want is truth. So they pull away, not because you are too much, but because they are not enough for the depth you bring. My beloved child, you are alone because your energy exposes others. When you walk into a room, you do not even need to speak. Your presence reflects people back to themselves. Those who are hiding from their own wounds feel uncomfortable around you. Those who live behind masks feel seen. Those who are not honest with themselves feel restless. And instead of healing, they choose distance. They choose silence. They choose disappearance. This is why some connections ended without explanation. This is why some people changed suddenly. It was not you. It was the mirror you unknowingly held. You are alone because you were never meant to be surrounded by noise. You were meant to hear my voice. In the quiet moments, when tears came without reason, when your chest felt heavy, when you stared at the ceiling asking why life feels unfair, those were not empty moments. Those were sacred moments. I was shaping you. I was softening your heart. I was teaching you compassion, patience, and spiritual strength that cannot be learned in crowds. Solitude has been your classroom. My beloved child, I know you tried. You tried to adjust. You tried to lower your expectations. You tried to be less emotional, less expressive, less intense. You told yourself, maybe if I change, people will stay. But every time you tried to shrink, your soul felt tired. Every time you ignored your inner voice, your heart felt heavy. Because you were never meant to abandon yourself to be loved. You were meant to be fully yourself and be met at that level. You are alone because you refuse to settle for empty love. Many would accept attention without respect, presence without effort, words without actions. But you cannot. Even when you tried, your spirit rejected it. Your heart knows the difference between comfort and connection. That is why shallow bonds fell apart quickly. That is why situationships drained you. That is why fake promises hurt you deeply. You were not designed for temporary love. My beloved child, your loneliness is not punishment. It is protection. I have removed people who would have distracted you from your growth. I have blocked paths that would have delayed your healing. I have allowed endings that saved you from deeper wounds you could not see at the time. I know it hurt. I know you cried. I know you begged silently for things to work. But one day you will look back and thank the solitude that kept you safe. You are alone because you are being prepared. Prepared for a connection that will not require you to beg. Prepared for love that will not confuse you. Prepared for a bond that will feel peaceful, not anxious. But before that arrives, you had to learn how to sit with yourself. How to hear your own thoughts. How to love your own company. How to stop seeking validation from those who could never give it consistently. My beloved child, I know the nights are the hardest. When the world sleeps and your thoughts become loud. When memories replay and questions return. When you wonder if anyone truly sees you. I see you. I have always seen you. Every tear you wiped away alone was noticed. Every silent prayer you whispered was heard. Every time you stayed kind despite being hurt, your spirit grew stronger. You are alone because your heart is clean. You do not manipulate. You do not play games. You do not pretend. And in a world where many relationships are built on control and ego, purity stands alone. But do not mistake loneliness for failure. Some flowers grow best away from crowded fields. Some souls mature in silence. My beloved child, this season will not last forever. But it must last long enough to complete its work. You are learning discernment. You are learning boundaries. You are learning self-respect. Soon, you will no longer chase people who give mixed signals. Soon, you will no longer explain your worth. Soon, you will recognize when someone cannot meet you emotionally, and you will walk away without bitterness. Until then, rest in the truth that your aloneness has meaning. It is shaping you, not breaking you. It is refining you, not rejecting you. And as this understanding settles in your heart, you will begin to feel less lonely and more aligned. Because solitude with purpose is not emptiness. It is preparation. And there is more you must understand. Part 2. My beloved child. There is another truth hidden beneath your loneliness, and it is one you have felt but never fully understood. You are alone because your soul carries healing energy. People come into your life wounded, confused, and searching, even if they do not admit it. They feel safe around you. They open up to you. They lean on you. And without realizing it, you become a place of rest for them. But when they start to heal, when they regain strength, many of them leave. Not out of cruelty, but because your role in their journey was temporary. This is why you often feel used, even when no harm was intended. This is why you feel like you give more than you receive. This is why people remember you long after you stop talking, while you sit wondering why they disappeared so easily. You were a chapter in their healing, not the destination. And that hurts, especially because you hoped someone would finally stay for you, not just for what you provide. My beloved child, you are alone because you attract broken souls, and broken souls are rarely ready for commitment. They want comfort, not responsibility. They want understanding, not accountability. And when you reflect their wounds back to them with love, they either grow or run. Many chose to run. But that does not make your love wasted. Every seed you planted mattered, even if you did not get to see the harvest. You are alone because you see potential, not just reality. You believe in people. You see who they could become. And sometimes you stay too long, hoping they will rise to meet you. But potential without effort is only a dream. And you are learning now that love should not be a project. You are not here to fix, save, or carry anyone. You are here to walk beside someone who is already walking. My beloved child, your heart has been strong for so long that you forgot you are allowed to be held too. You became the listener, the supporter, the one who understands. But who understands you? Who checks on you when you go quiet? Who notices when your smile fades? This imbalance is another reason solitude surrounds you. Because you are learning to stop pouring into cups that never pour back. You are alone because you are awakening spiritually. Your awareness is expanding. You are questioning old patterns, old attachments, old beliefs about love and self-worth. This awakening often feels isolating. People you once related to no longer resonate. Conversations feel shallow. Connections feel forced. You crave depth, meaning, truth. And until you find those who vibrate at the same frequency, you walk alone. My beloved child, do not rush this phase. Do not numb it with distractions. Do not escape it with temporary pleasures. This is a sacred pause. This is the space where you shed old versions of yourself. This is where you stop seeking love from the outside and begin generating it from within. The moment you stop fearing being alone, loneliness loses its power over you. You are alone because you are learning self-trust. For a long time, you ignored your intuition to keep people. You gave chances after red flags. You explained behavior that hurt you. But now, something inside you has changed. You feel discomfort faster. You sense misalignment earlier. And instead of forcing things, you are choosing distance. This choice feels lonely, but it is also powerful. My beloved child, there is nothing wrong with wanting companionship. Your heart was made for connection. But the connection you seek must meet you in honesty, effort, and emotional maturity. Anything less will feel empty. That is why casual bonds no longer satisfy you. That is why surface-level affection feels draining. You are ready for something real. And something real is on its way. But first, you must fully release the belief that being alone means being unwanted. You are wanted by life itself. You are needed in ways you cannot yet see. Your story is still unfolding. The delay is not denial. The silence is not abandonment. It is alignment. Trust this process, my beloved child. Because the same reason you are alone now will be the reason your future connection feels sacred, safe, and deeply fulfilling. Part 3. My beloved child. Now listen to this final truth, because it will settle your heart if you allow it. You are alone because you are meant to meet someone who will not find you by chance, but by readiness. If they had arrived earlier, they would not have understood you. If you had met them before this growth, you would not have recognized them. Timing is protecting both of you. You are becoming emotionally whole. You are learning to enjoy your own presence. You are building a life that does not depend on anyone's approval. And when connection comes from wholeness, it does not create fear. It creates peace. You will no longer ask, "Do they like me?" You will ask, "Do we align?" That shift is powerful. My beloved child, the reason you are alone is not to break you. It is to remind you of your worth. To teach you that love should feel calm, not chaotic. Consistent, not confusing. Mutual, not one-sided. And once you fully accept this, loneliness will transform into confidence. There will come a day when someone chooses you without hesitation. When communication is clear. When effort is natural. When affection feels safe. And on that day, you will understand why nothing before worked. You will see that every ending, every silent goodbye, every lonely night was guiding you here. Until then, hold your heart gently. Speak kindly to yourself. You are not behind. You are not forgotten. You are exactly where you need to be. My beloved child. Stay with me a little longer, because there are layers to your loneliness that your heart has felt, but your mind has not fully named. You often think you are alone because people leave, but the deeper truth is that you have been outgrowing many of them. Growth is quiet. It does not announce itself. One day you simply realize that what once felt familiar now feels heavy. Conversations that once excited you now drain you. Connections that once felt warm now feel distant. And you blame yourself for changing, when in reality, you are finally becoming who you were always meant to be. My beloved child, you are alone because you stopped betraying yourself. In the past, you stayed where you felt unseen. You laughed when something hurt. You adjusted your boundaries so others would feel comfortable. You accepted crumbs and called it love. But something inside you shifted. You started listening to that small voice that whispered, "This is not right for you." And the moment you began honoring that voice, many people could no longer stay. Not because you became cold, but because you became honest. You are alone because your heart demands truth now. You no longer tolerate mixed signals. You no longer chase inconsistent energy. You no longer beg for clarity. And this level of emotional integrity makes many uncomfortable. They would rather call you distant than look at their own lack of effort. They would rather disappear than meet you with the same depth you offer. My beloved child, there is a reason you feel misunderstood. You speak from the soul, but many listen only with the ego. You ask questions that go deeper than, "How was your day?" You want to know what hurts them, what scares them, what shapes them. And not everyone is brave enough to go there. So they label you intense. They say you think too much. They say you feel too deeply. But the truth is, you feel honestly. You are alone because you carry emotional intelligence in a world that avoids emotions. You are aware of patterns, wounds, and unspoken truths. You notice shifts in tone. You sense distance before it becomes visible. You feel when something is off, even when words say otherwise. This awareness is a gift, but it can feel like a burden when others are not willing to meet you at that level of consciousness. My beloved child, you often wonder why you attract people who need healing. It is because your presence feels safe. Your energy says, "You don't have to pretend here." And people are drawn to that safety. They rest in it. They unload their pain. They borrow your strength. But when it is time to offer the same care back to you, many do not know how. They were never taught to give what they receive. So they leave, and you are left questioning your worth again. But hear me clearly now. Your worth was never dependent on who stayed. Your value does not decrease because someone was unable to love you correctly. Sometimes people lose you because they are not aligned with the responsibility that comes with your heart. You are alone because you are learning discernment. You are beginning to understand that not everyone who is kind is safe, and not everyone who is present is committed. You are learning to observe actions, not words. To feel consistency, not intensity. This wisdom does not come without isolation. Because once you see clearly, you can no longer pretend. My beloved child, loneliness has been stripping away illusions. It has shown you where you were romanticizing potential. It has revealed where you were overgiving to earn love. It has exposed the places where you tied your self-worth to being needed. And although this awareness is painful, it is also freeing. You are no longer chasing approval. You are choosing alignment. You are alone because your soul is calling you inward. This is a season of self-connection. A time to build a relationship with yourself that does not depend on external validation. You are learning how to sit with your emotions instead of escaping them. How to soothe yourself instead of waiting to be rescued. How to enjoy your own company without feeling empty. This inner work is sacred, even when it feels lonely. My beloved child, I know you miss being chosen. You miss being someone's first call. You miss being held, seen, and prioritized. These desires do not make you weak. They make you human. But this pause in connection is teaching you that you are whole even in absence. That your life has meaning even without romantic validation. That your joy does not have to be postponed until someone arrives. You are alone because you are shedding old timelines. The life you thought you would have by now. The love you expected at this stage. The version of yourself you thought you needed to become to be accepted. All of this is dissolving, and it feels unsettling because certainty is fading. But what is replacing it is something truer. My beloved child, trust that what is leaving your life is making space for what can stay. Trust that every quiet day is aligning you more closely with people who will recognize your value without needing to be convinced. Trust that your heart is not too much. It has simply been in the wrong hands. You are not being punished with loneliness. You are being refined by it. You are learning what you deserve by experiencing what you no longer accept. And when this lesson settles fully into your spirit, your energy will change. You will no longer seek love from lack, but from abundance. Remain open, my beloved child. Not desperate. Not guarded. Just open and discerning. Because the same depth that made you feel alone will one day make you feel deeply understood. And when that moment comes, you will realize that this season of solitude was not empty time. It was sacred preparation. My beloved child. Breathe gently now, because this is where understanding turns into peace. You have carried the question for so long, why am I alone, that it became part of your identity. But now the answer is no longer meant to hurt you. It is meant to free you. You are alone because your soul is learning how to stand without leaning, how to love without losing itself, how to wait without doubting its worth. There was a time when you thought love was proven by how much you endured. You believed that if you stayed patient enough, understanding enough, forgiving enough, someone would finally see your value. You confused sacrifice with devotion. You confused silence with loyalty. And because of this, you stayed in spaces where your heart slowly disappeared. This season of aloneness arrived to bring you back to yourself. My beloved child, you are alone because you are no longer available for emotional chaos. Your nervous system is tired. Your heart is tired. Your soul has had enough of inconsistency dressed as passion and absence disguised as independence. You crave stability now. Calm conversations. Safe love. And until that arrives, solitude feels kinder than compromise. You may not realize it yet, but you have changed profoundly. The version of you who chased, waited, over-explained, and hoped endlessly is fading. In their place stands someone quieter, stronger, more self-aware. Someone who listens more than they speak. Someone who observes before they attach. This version of you does not rush into bonds just to avoid loneliness. This version knows that being alone is better than being emotionally abandoned while accompanied. My beloved child, the reason this solitude feels heavy at times is because you are grieving illusions. You are grieving the idea that love will come if you just try harder. You are grieving the fantasy of being saved by someone else's affection. You are grieving the timelines you imagined for your life. Grief is not only for people, it is also for expectations that never came true. But hear this clearly now. Nothing has gone wrong. You have not missed your moment. Life has not forgotten you. This pause is not delay, it is divine timing unfolding quietly, precisely, lovingly. You are alone because you are being aligned with yourself first. And alignment always comes before union. If someone entered your life now without this clarity, you would shrink again. You would abandon boundaries. You would overgive.